Update: wife and I decided to try for kids last year. Found out I'm completely infertile without surgery. 5 months later, she got pregnant. Original post: my wife, 33 female, and I, 34 male, have been married for 3 years, together for 6. She's always been one of the most amazing people I've ever met. No huge fights, love languages match up, and we're both fairly active people, which has been why we've always had a really strong relationship for so long. That's why this is so difficult for me. We've both been doing pretty well in our careers the last few years. She's in marketing, and I work independently as an IT consultant, allowing me to set my own hours and be pretty flexible. We decided last year that we wanted to start a family, her most likely keeping her job full-time and me scaling back to part-time. We've both been anxious but pretty excited to have our own kids. Long story short, I was diagnosed with azoospermia last December. A blockage in the pipes just meant I wasn't actually producing any sperm when ejaculating. It's curable with surgery, thankfully, and we finally got it scheduled this July. She's got a high libido, as do I. So we've still been very sexually active, but there should have been no way I could have gotten her pregnant. She missed her period this week. I couldn't imagine that she might actually be pregnant, right? The babies are bottled in until they get the blockage out. She took 3 tests though, and sure enough, they're all positive. At first I was stunned because this shouldn't be possible. She's never been unfaithful to me in the past and never given me a reason not to trust her. I'm not the jealous type, but I'm literally stuck. The doctor said this couldn't happen, and I can't believe my wife would jeopardize the future we've been so excited for over some fling, when we seem to have such a great emotional and physical connection. My wife's been ecstatic. She's given no indication of any guilt or worry that she may have cheated. She was so excited when she first found out that I didn't express my worries then. But she left for work and now I feel completely torn. What if she did cheat? Looking back now, there are a few tiny things that didn't seem to be an issue, but now have me racking my brain for clues. Her job often has her taking clients out for dinner, and it's not uncommon for her to get back later in the evening. She definitely had a busy last few months, but that's not uncommon for her job. She always wears one of the same 2 perfumes. But she came back one night smelling completely different. I remember seeing a text message on her lock screen of just a winky face, a different time, but assumed it was one of her girlfriends. Man, I don't know what to do. I set up an appointment on Monday to see if there's any chance it could be mine. If it is mine and I accuse her of cheating, I feel like the world's biggest a-hole. But she's coming home in a few hours, and I don't know what I'm going to say to her. I can't stop thinking of these small things that may have been her cheating, and I just didn't see it. Do I wait until the doctor appointment Monday before talking to her, or do I bring up these insecurities while she's celebrating the pregnancy? I'm worried I won't be able to hide what's going on. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. I'd say you should wait for the appointment. Biology can surprise us sometimes, but prepare for the worst-case scenario. Should I take her with me to it? I'm weighing the choices between that and going alone. I'm going to have to bring it up anyways. There's no way I can hide this when she gets back. Don't bring her with you. You don't know what the doctor might say. If the news is good, congratulations, my man. If the news is bad, just take some air and be as calm as possible. She knows you're blocked up, yes? If so, her reaction doesn't make a damn bit of sense for cheating. Doesn't make sense for some weird surprise in vitro either, since in a month you're gonna be filling homegirl's oven with enough baby batter to get the lily fella cooking yourself. Occam's razor is her cheating, but I've got a suspicion this is a medical mystery, not a matter of fidelity. She definitely knows. Yeah, I agree. That's why this is so difficult to know how to feel. I don't know if my instinct is trying to tell me something, or I'm just overreacting since I've been cheated on before. Edit/mini update. I should add it I've been cheated on before. Our relationship has been pretty healthy, but that old fear is creeping back in now. I'm not sure how to just wait until the appointment. I really hope y'all are right that some freak sperm made it past. My wife's coming home though in an hour, and I have to decide if I'm going to put on a happy face until Monday or not. She texted saying she's going to be home late. This is bringing up some old emotional scars, I think, and it's just messing with me. I'm usually never this insecure or uncertain about being straightforward. I think I need to just find some way to bring it up without being accusatory. Now for the first update. First, I just want to thank everyone who reached out and offered their story about similar situations. I can't believe how many people are told they're completely sterile and end up being able to have kids anyway. I took a lot of what you guys said to heart. I had an ex from years ago who ended up cheating on me, and it really left a scar for a while. It wasn't until I got more involved with sports and getting in better shape that I was able to try and move on. My wife and I actually met in a soccer league we were in together. We've had so much trust for so long that I thought those fears had gone away. It wasn't until now that I really started to feel shaken like that again. But I didn't want to let my past get in the way of what could be just a huge blessing. A few people really articulated the right way to communicate my feelings in a way that wasn't accusatory and respectful of my wife, who's never given me a reason to doubt her. It's not uncommon for her to sometimes be home late, and she'll usually like to go straight to bed. I didn't want to dump this on her immediately and decided to give myself a night to sleep on it. I got up pretty early, just being restless, went for a run, and cleared my mind. I couldn't wait any longer. I made our favorite omelets and told her I needed to talk about something. You know I'm not Ashley, right? She knows me well. Ashley's my ex who cheated. So first I apologized. I apologized because I let this build up in my head for so long without talking with her about it sooner. What should be a blessing has been nothing but insecurity and fear for me. We talked for a while. I told her how happy it made me to see her ecstatic and excited for the baby. I told her how much I loved the relationship that we've built together, and I felt like an a-hole for questioning her loyalty. She had never given me a reason not to trust her, and I still couldn't emotionally get over the thoughts of infidelity because of my ex. She thanked me for telling her, and she knew how hard it was for me to get over that. She volunteered to have us get a paternity test right when he or she is born, which made me feel a lot better at first. But something still felt off. I honestly don't know why. Something about how she was so eager to get a paternity test and almost not mad at all for having kept this from her. Normally, she would have been upset that I didn't bring it up right away, but there was just a weird feeling I couldn't shake for the rest of the day. It seemed like she was saying all the right things, but I couldn't get rid of this clawing feeling inside my head. Maybe I'm just being paranoid? Maybe there's a gut feeling I need to listen to. But I ended up going to the appointment alone, as we decided it would be good to see if I still needed the surgery. Turns out it's obstructive azoospermia. I've read so many stories about people who were supposed to be infertile ending up getting pregnant. So I brought that up, and how my wife's pregnancy was affecting me. The urologist thought it would be pretty unlikely that I wouldn't need surgery to have a kid with how mine was presenting itself. He mainly tried to skirt around the topic and mostly pushed me toward making sure she was actually pregnant. Being there didn't really help. I feel like I just got more uncertainty. She had another night being out until 8:30 last night. We talked about scheduling an appointment to verify the pregnancy when she got home. She seemed a little confused, but then quickly agreed. She promised to do it in the morning. I asked how work had gone, and she gave me a kind of non-committal answer about her boss pushing her too much and being stressed out. There's nothing huge there, but she just seemed off. I really couldn't put my finger on it. We were still acting all lovey-dovey, but something just felt wrong. And I couldn't talk about it without repeating the same conversation we had Sunday. I've been trying to throw myself into work to distract myself, but I haven't been able to focus. We have a joint checking account that we'll sometimes move money in and out of, but we really only use it for groceries or household items unless we talk about it beforehand. This morning, she moved half of it to hers, about $1,700. We don't do that. She's never needed to before. And I checked our healthcare portal, and she made the appointment for the one-time Thursday that I mentioned I was busy working on site. We were supposed to go together. I'm starting to go crazy. How do I bring this up in a way that isn't just having the same conversation again? I'm looking into getting a second opinion for myself, but I need a litmus test from objective outsiders to know if I'm really losing it, or if this seems weird to someone else. There is a paternity test called non-invasive prenatal paternity, NIPP, that can check paternity before the baby is born. It includes taking your wife's blood. Fetal DNA can be separated and tested, and your blood. She can get her blood taken first, and then you could go a little later. You don't have to have it done at the same time. I only thought of this because it cost around $1,700 to get it done. This is what I thought of, that they could get the NIPP test now, and maybe she moved the money for the test. But it's suspicious she's not telling him and booking an appointment without his involvement. It's stacking up against her favor. You got any sick time? Call in sick on the day of the appointment and go anyway. She technically already kinda agreed to go together, so make it so. She can't argue with that. I wouldn't want to surprise her, but I think I might wait until she's home and mention I can take off and see what she says. Solid plan. Honestly, I hope it ends up just being a misunderstanding for your sake, but it's better to be sure, and it's not as though you're being unreasonable. Thank you. I'm trying to get all my uncertainty out here to make sure I don't act just on fear. I'm a little uneasy about how popular the post got though, even though she rarely uses Reddit. I'll probably have to take this down eventually. Second update. I've been trying to center myself. We talked calmly for a bit on the phone. She claimed she moved the money out in anticipation of the deductible payments she'll have with different visits. I didn't bring up anything else, but she seemed a little impatient with me. Probably rightly so, and implied we'd have a longer talk when she gets home. I'm just trying not to overreact right now. I don't know what to think. This is either a misunderstanding on my side and I'm a father, or not. Thankfully, she's not working late today. Thank you to those who are trying to keep me grounded. Third update. I went for a long run to clear my mind. Got a shower and then my wife should be home. I'm going to go into the conversation with no judgment. Just objectively lay out the facts and why I've still been struggling personally with some of them. Regardless of what happens, I'm done with any confusion left between us. Thanks to those who messaged me and gave advice. Now for the last update. I'm sorry to drag y'all through the worst of my insecurities. I definitely channeled quite a bit of my negative stuff into what I posted. But hey, that's what anonymous people are good for sometimes, I guess. Anyway, we finally sat down after she got home last night. I told her everything that was going on, the urologist, the money, the upcoming appointment. I told her how, even with all her reassurances, too many suspect things kept happening. She agreed with how everything looked and immediately apologized. She didn't realize how much my last ex's cheating was still affecting me. She knew I was off going into the weekend, but thought we had addressed that. We talked about it Sunday, but I can get pretty internal with all these worries and not show them outwardly. And so, while she thought we were communicating, I wasn't. We decided to start from the beginning and go through everything together. The money was the real problem for me. She agreed it was inconsiderate, given where my head was at, to do that without mentioning it. Apparently, the prenatal visits are so structured that they want you to set up a payment plan with them right away, and she wanted to make sure it was squared away to keep the appointment. She offered, without me prompting, to call them with me tomorrow to verify that, or, if I really wanted, we could move the money back. She does get better rewards out of her account, so it kind of made sense. We read up on obstructive azoospermia, and it doesn't seem like they're often invincible force fields. It seems like only the actual absence of the vas deferens, CBAVD, guarantees complete infertility, so it is possible for some sperm to get through. We're going to go back to the original specialist I was working with last year and hopefully get a clearer picture. It turns out the appointment she made was the only time they had available so soon, and she figured it'd be best not to wait. I told her I took off work to go with her, and she was relieved I could join. Once again, she said all the right things and seems genuine about getting us on the same page. After going through each thing, I was just wishing I believed her a little more before. She's stressed out with work and when she'll have to take off, but she really seemed to want to go out of her way to alleviate my concerns. She even offered an open phone policy if I needed it. We did look at the text I had seen, and it was just a girlfriend. I declined though, since I don't want to be that husband. This has really made me take a deeper look at my past and how it still affects me today. Even thinking back to this weekend, it was so hard to see in the moment how much all the uncertainty was affecting me. That level of anxiety literally makes you question what around you are real. I think trust but verify is the best way to put it. I was just trying to verify without any of the trust. This has all put a strain on our marriage, but I'm feeling a bit more like we're a team again working toward easing that. She thought that a nip ASAP was a great idea, as long as we also get some kind of counseling together. I'm not big on therapy, but I can probably agree that it will most likely help. I'm feeling a little better about everything. Thanks again to everyone who reached out and shared their own stories. Every other comment here I read was a story of a family member who was supposed to be barren and ended up popping out triplets. And most of all, to those who helped me try to communicate fairly through all of this. It's time for me to hopefully be a father. Edit/update. The paternity test came back initially positive for anyone who's going to see this. It's excellent that your wife was able to not be defensive and to identify with your jilted and wounded perspective to see how things could be negatively interpreted by you. Speaking for the whole internet here, we wish you and your new family the best and that you continue down your healing road. Yeah, it takes a special kind of person to be this understanding when they've done nothing wrong, especially while pregnant. OP is a lucky man. I'm glad it worked out. All I can suggest at this point is to remember that you're not the only person who went through a traumatic event here. Your wife did as well. She realized her husband does not fully trust her, regardless of whether it's within your control or not. Please keep the lines of communication open with her and spend time together to rebuild that trust for both of you. Last story. Told my in-laws we're getting divorced because my wife cheated on me since they thought I was leaving her because of her weight. I, 35 male, thought I was getting everything I ever wanted with my wife, 35 female, when we were in our late 20s. I truly love her, both when she was thin and now that she's plus-sized. She became plus-sized during her pregnancy, and I was still hot for her. But she hated her new body and felt ugly despite all my compliments. Over the years, she gained more weight and felt worse about herself. More recently, she cheated on me. She had felt so low about herself that she wanted to see if men who didn't have to love her would find her sexy. I didn't have to love her because we have a child together. I love her because she's her. We're getting a divorce, and I wanted the process to be peaceful. But my in-laws, especially my mother-in-law, 57 female, were giving me hell because they thought I was this shallow jerk who was leaving his wife because she gained weight during pregnancy. I was confronted by her parents again, and I told them the truth. Now my in-laws are giving my wife hell, and she's miserable. I don't want her to be miserable. I just wanted my in-laws off my case. No, you are not the a-hole. Your wife is, though. She lied to her parents about why the marriage ended. Instead of getting the therapy she obviously needs, she chose to cheat. She cheated and then lied about it. You're allowed to correct the record. Given how my wife's self-esteem is so low, she may honestly believe that's why we're getting divorced. She's so convinced that I'm not attracted to her anymore and that I had fallen out of love with her. No amount of evidence has been able to convince her otherwise. She lied to them to make you the bad guy. She needs help. I also gained a lot of weight over the years, pregnancy and then an injury making me permanently disabled. I gave my significant other every opportunity to leave. I was miserable. I am not trying to one-up or compare miseries, different bodies, different experiences. What she did was inexcusable. She hurt you, betrayed you, and then tried to blame you so she didn't have to take accountability. You 100% did the right thing by telling them. However, if you can, tell them to get her some help and support and not beat her further into the ground. She dug herself a hole. They don't need to bring in a backhoe. You don't have to, obviously. Anger or rage is absolutely valid. Some of us can dig our way out, some can't. I wish you healing, sir. Growing up and during early adulthood, she was the prettiest girl. I think she had placed so much stock in that. She has a narrow view of how she needs to look to be pretty. The change in her looks really affected her mentally.